This week in Women in Sports, winners on and off the court. The awesome day some Special Olympians had on the court with the Minnesota Lynx. Plus, a new study breaks down the value of WNBA franchises, who came out on top. And we're headed to White Bear Lake, how one new coach turned around the boys' soccer program while shattering old standards.
WCCO's Women in Sports, sponsored by Franson Bank and Trust.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Marielle Mohs, and here at WCCO, we are celebrating at the highlights of female athletes in this new digital segment called Women in Sports. We'll share new stories with you every week right here as we do our part to give these athletes the recognition they deserve. We begin by taking a look at this week's PWHL draft and who will be joining the reigning two-time champs. With the number 6 pick in the first round, the Frost selected Quinnipiac defenseman Kendall Cooper. They were hoping to rebuild the blue line after losing 4 lineup regulars. The Frost selected 1 player in each of the 6 rounds, including right shot defenders Ava Rinker and Brooke Becker. In case you were wondering, the Sirens used the number 1 pick to select Colgate forward Kristina Kaltunkova. This was a significant week for women's hockey. Former U.S. national team player Brianna Decker and Team Canada's Jennifer Boudreau were selected for induction into the Hockey Hall of Fame. They were joined by former Canada women's coach and Victoire general manager Danielle Souvigno. She's the first woman to be elected in the Builders category. This also marks the first time 3 women were inducted in the same class. This season's PWHL's Billie Jean King MVP award has been given to Montreal Victoire captain Marie-Philippe Poulin. She led the league with 19 goals and finished 4th with 26 points in 30 games. Poulin was also named Forward of the Year. And Sophie Jacks and Claire Thompson, who did play with the Frost but are now with Vancouver, were also among the finalists. Speaking of Vancouver, they now have a coach, and who most recently coached right here in Minnesota. You may know this name. The league says Brian Idalski is leaving St. Cloud State and heading to Canada. Idalski has more than 20 years of women's hockey coaching experience, including overseeing China's national team at the 2022 Beijing Winter Games. Well, the Lynx officially have new owners. An investment group led by Mark Laurie and former baseball star Alex Rodriguez now head the team, thanks to the $1.5 billion Timberwolves deal. So far, they've announced that A-Rod will serve as the Lynx governor, while Laurie will be the alternate governor.
I'm for sure a Lynx fan now because I don't really watch sports that much, but I feel like since I've played with them now and I understand, I feel like I'll watch basketball and the Lynx more.
That young player recently got a day she'll never forget. The Lynx recently made the day for 11 young athletes from Special Olympics Minnesota. It also gave the team a little break last week to play with the next generation.
This is my favorite day of the season.
A contract like no other to join the top team in the WNBA for a day. Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve signed 11 kids with Special Olympics Minnesota to the roster.
And you get a chance to sign to make this official.
Once they got the paperwork out of the way, they hit the court with their new team. 13-year-old Havana got to play with standout point guard Courtney Williams.
It was really fun to meet her. She was really funny and she was really nice.
This moment inspiring her to keep playing the game.
I feel like it opened a new door because my grandpa, he's our coach for every sport. He keeps on asking me, do you want to play basketball? I'm like, no, I don't feel like that's me. But now that I'm played, I'm with them, I was actually I might enjoy it.
12-year-old Jasmine could not contain her excitement.
That was so much fun, and I like to have fun.
Making sincere connections with pros they look up to.
I watch her every time I see her. She was a incredible woman I ever seen.
For players who are always locked in and grinding, it was nice to let loose and be a kid again, too.
The best part about it is that they're just here to be with us, and obviously we talk so much about the season and all the expectations, but when we're out there on the court with them, it's just about basketball and having fun, and, we get to learn about them, too.
And the Lynx Junior Dream Team will be recognized on the court on August 8th when the team hosts the Washington Mystics. Well, A'ja Wilson has made history. The Las Vegas Aces superstar has now become the fastest player in the league to score 5,000 career points. Wilson is the 28th player to score that many career points, and the three-time MVP did it in just 238 games. The previous record was held by Brianna Stewart. She hit the mark in 242 games. Wilson is also the second youngest player to reach that milestone. Well, a big boost for the WNBA. According to Sportico, the 13 franchises in the league are now collectively worth $3.5 billion. That's an over 180% hike compared to last year. The Golden State Valkyries are the WNBA's most valuable, worth $500 million, despite it being the newest team in the league. The New York Liberty are the runners-up with $420 million in value, and the Indiana Fever came in third at $335 million. Well, take a look at this sculpture in Iowa. It's a unique tribute to Indiana Fever's Caitlin Clark. It's in the front yard of a home in Cedar Rapids. The homeowner says he came up with the idea to use a tree that was damaged in a 2020 windstorm. He got some help from a chainsaw artist, and it took 3 days to complete. And of course, the homeowner hopes that Clark will someday make a visit. Well, back here in Minnesota, a woman is breaking barriers as the first head coach of a boys team at White Bear Lake Schools. Let me introduce you to the varsity boys head soccer coach who turned the program around.
Oh, what a save, Angus!
It's far from the start of the White Bear Lake boys soccer season this fall, but these guys are out training early.
Good hustle back!
Something put in place under the leadership of head coach Taylin Gittens.
Why not get them more training, more touches on the ball, so when it comes time for fall, we're not getting the rust off then. We're doing it in the summer.
Honestly, just like the tempo at practices and just the effort she's putting in is a lot more surreal, and just the intensity at practice is just 10 times better.
Coach Gittens is in her second season as head coach. Before her at the helm, the varsity team only had 1 win in 2023. Last year with her, they improved to 7 wins.
The program needed a change, so she's done a great job so far.
Coach Gittens' soccer career began in the goal, taking her to a D3 college career at St. Scholastica. She started at White Bear Lake as a goalie coach and worked her way up to where she is now.
Our previous head coach really brought me in and made it normal that we're not looking at gender at all, we're looking at skill base.
Breaking the norm in sports means facing age-old standards.
People have just expected I'm the manager and not a coach.
But she doesn't let those standards stop her.
I kind of let the comments roll off my back. My big thing is I kind of take them as motivation to just prove them wrong.
She's just another coach. I don't see it any different.
The improving stats speak for themselves, but deeper than that, Coach Gittens has brought a more personal connection to this team.
Keep talking on the field!
That has helped all the players improve their game.
What I like is she talks to us one-on-one. She can really help you face-to-face.
There it is!
I think she's a lot more personal and easier to be comfortable around and play with confidence when you have a coach you can relate with and talk to.
So you guys can win.
She's helping these players dream bigger as they head towards the start of a new season.
Bring it in and break it down.
We're going to state. No.
1, 2, 3, Bears!
Love that confidence. Good luck to Coach Gittens. Also new this season, she's brought more women onto her staff, hiring another woman to coach the JV boys team. Well, in golf, Minjee Lee took her 3rd major title after winning the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. This was the 29-year-old Australian's 11th career win. She also joined Carrie Webb and Jan Stephenson as the only women from Australia to win 3 majors. Lee is now just 2 wins away from a career Grand Slam. That's achieved by winning the 5 major titles. Lee needs to win the Women's British Open and the Chevron Championship to complete the Grand Slam set. And history has been made for the International Olympic Committee. Kirsty Coventry is now officially the first woman and the first African president of the organization. The 42-year-old is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist in swimming for Zimbabwe. She won a 7-candidate election back in March to succeed Thomas Bach. Coventry will now lead the International Olympic Committee through the next 8 years and the 2028 Summer Games in Los Angeles. Well, you probably recognize her name and picture. She's Malala Yousafzai, and she's known by millions around the world as a human rights and education activist who survived an assassination attempt by the Taliban when she was only 15. Well, now she's turning her fight to equality in sports, both on a professional and amateur level. Her latest initiative is called Recess, and it's intended to enhance the right of women and girls through sports. Billie Jean King and her wife, Ilana Kloss, are among those contributing to the initiative as advisors. According to the Women's Sports Foundation, by the age of 14, girls drop out of sporting activities at double the rate of boys due to limited opportunities, social stigma, and a lack of role models. Well, thanks for watching this week's Women in Sports. We'll be back with more great stories next week. I'm Marielle Mohs.